husband used a vacuum to suck away 200 pounds of my fat. Also, I could compete in the hottest wife competition. I felt a bit awkward and nervous, but the competition bell had already rung. The first round was a weigh-in. The lightest would win. Unexpectedly, we were equally matched, exactly the same weight. Unwilling to admit defeat, my opponent directly removed her wig and dentures. My weight instantly surpassed hers. Seeing this, my husband immediately turned the vacuum to the second setting, making me lose another 20 pounds in an instant. At such a light weight, my opponent had no choice but to lose. I successfully advanced to the second round. I broke into a cold sweat, while my husband looked completely relaxed. Who would have thought the second round would involve kicking balloons to test body flexibility? My opponent lifted her leg and instantly popped 3 balloons. This woman was pretty skilled. In comparison, I used all my strength and only popped 2 balloons. Seeing me panting heavily, my husband immediately took out a bottle of oil and sprayed it all over me. I instantly became slippery like an eel, kicking and popping the last balloon in one go, but I couldn't help it. I slipped into a split. Although my opponent was a bit unwilling to concede, I was forced to drink a mouthful of gasoline, and unexpectedly, my figure actually became better. Turns out, the woman gave me beauty gasoline that makes people more attractive. The key point is it only costs $50 per use. My god, this is amazing. I immediately handed her $50, asked her to prepare a barrel for me, so I could become prettier anytime, anywhere. I've been married for 10 years, and loving interactions with my husband have grown fewer. Now he plays games all day. I plan to use the beauty gasoline to reignite his passion. Sure enough, after drinking it, my figure instantly became absolutely stunning. I excitedly walked out of the room, and sure enough, I immediately caught my husband's attention, especially when I threw him a wink. My husband immediately came over. Just as we were about to spark some romance, my stomach suddenly started churning violently, feeling like it was about to burst out of my mouth. Scared, I rushed into the bathroom, then vomited out all the gasoline in my stomach, and my figure returned to its loose, flabby state. In a panic, I jumped right out the window, planning to secretly buy more beauty gasoline again. After all, I had finally managed to catch my husband's attention, but who would have thought the woman my boyfriend suddenly braked. My makeup was stuck directly onto the car window. Luckily, he didn't notice, but unfortunately, my bag broke and all my makeup fell out. Suddenly, my boyfriend looked at me. I quickly covered my face with a magazine. He didn't think much of it and kept driving. I had to fix my makeup fast. I rolled down the window, grabbed a latte from the roadside, and used the latte foam as foundation to cover up the pimples on my face. The effect was surprisingly good. Then I pulled the same trick again, snatched a donut from a guy on the street, and used the jam to paint on a sexy pouty lip, but accidentally, I got jam all over my hands. Just then, a stray cat caught my attention. Hearing the meow, my boyfriend immediately turned his head. I quickly hid behind the magazine again. Seeing him focus back on driving, I breathed a sigh of relief and signaled the cat to stay quiet. But then, as I patted the cat, the jam on my hands got covered in cat fur. Suddenly, I had a brilliant idea. I plucked some cat whiskers and made myself a pair of long, gorgeous false eyelashes. I looked absolutely stunning. Just then, someone by the roadside was giving out roses, as if prepared just for me. I used the petals to apply. When I woke up, I realized my face had fallen off. I almost lost it. I immediately glanced over at my handsome boyfriend. If he found out I wore a fake face with makeup, he'd probably be scared shitless. Luckily, he was still fast asleep. I breathed a sigh of relief. I quickly flipped the pillow over. I had to fix my face before my boyfriend woke up. I snuck into the bathroom. This was a great spot to touch up my makeup, but what I didn't expect was I had run out of cosmetics. I usually wore heavy makeup, but my boyfriend only had face wash. How did he stay so handsome without using any skincare? I suddenly felt so insecure, a deep sense of panic rising inside me. I had to fix my face immediately. I quietly slipped into the kitchen and started looking for anything I could use. Soon enough, I found some substitutes. I poured half a bowl of flour into a bowl. The whitening effect would be perfect. Then I cracked an egg into it, added a liter of milk, and stirred it all vigorously, but it was taking too long. In a rush, I just stuck my right hand in. This pale yellow cream was amazing, perfect for my delicate skin. This was exactly what I used when I couldn't afford real makeup. Next, I grabbed some coffee. I woke up and found my boyfriend had turned into nothing but a skin, and in our room, there was now a strange old man. Did he kill my boyfriend Jack? Furious, I marched up and demanded to know who he was, but his answer was even more horrifying. He said he was Jack. He claimed he fell in love with me at first sight, but was afraid I'd think he was too old, so he made this human skin suit to wear. I couldn't believe it. The person I fell in love with was actually a creepy old man. I wanted to leave him right then, but I was pregnant with his child. For the sake of the baby, I couldn't leave. so I demanded he wear the skin suit every single day. The old man agreed without hesitation, but strangely, he now couldn't put the skin suit on anymore. That's when I noticed the suit's tag. It had been made just yesterday. While I was still trying to figure out what was going on, I suddenly heard my boyfriend's voice coming from the basement. So the old man was lying. He wasn't Jack at all. So that night, while the old man was asleep, I quietly took the key and unlocked the basement door. Sure enough, I found the real Jack down there. He was shocked to see me. I bluntly told him I was pregnant with his child and begged him to take me away, but Jack told me I wasn't. My sister used a vacuum machine to suck out my fat. Instantly, my figure shrank by 2 sizes. The reason my sister did this was to set me up on a date with an ugly billionaire. She quickly applied foundation all over me, painting the plastic bag to match my skin tone. Soon, my complexion looked flawless. Then she tossed me a dress and told me the date was about to start. With no choice, I put it on. The billionaire was waiting anxiously. I shyly hid on the sidelines, too nervous to approach. With my sister cheering me on, I nervously walked toward the billionaire. Seeing my stunning appearance, he excitedly waved at me immediately, flashing his bright, perfectly aligned front teeth. I felt a wave of nausea, but still walked over. The billionaire instantly pulled out a huge bouquet of roses for me. My sister excitedly gave me a thumbs up. Though the billionaire was very gentlemanly, his strong body odor was overwhelming. My sister, afraid I might bolt, reminded me he was rich and told me to endure it. But as soon as I put down the flowers, the plastic bag on my legs burst open. Luckily, he didn't notice. Just then, a swarm of flies was attracted by the billionaire's odor. The sight made me sick, but he just pulled out a stack of cash to shoo them away and casually tossed it aside. He was unbelievably rich. Next, he pulled a small gift from his pocket, a gold bracelet encrusted with huge diamonds. My sister's eyes widened. Such an expensive gift. I didn't dare accept it. My sister frantically texted me, ordering me to take it immediately, or she'd expose me as the fat girl on the spot. Reluctantly, I extended my hand. Seeing me accept, the billionaire excitedly slid it onto my wrist. I started thinking maybe he wasn't so bad. At that moment, a ray of sunlight hit me, trapped in the plastic bag. I instantly started sweating profusely. Seeing me uncomfortable, the billionaire immediately pulled out a folding fan. When I took it, I noticed it was encrusted with diamonds.
Someone says you smell bad in front of a group of girls. Here's what to do. Let's say you're at a gathering and someone suddenly yells,
"Ew, what's that smell?"
Don't panic and don't try to defend yourself by saying,
It's not me. I just showered. That's not true.
because that usually makes the situation worse. When you defend yourself, you accidentally confirm that their insults affected you, and that gives them exactly the reaction they wanted. Instead, use a technique called pattern interruption. This is when you say something so unexpected that people stop focusing on the insult and start focusing on your response. It completely breaks the social momentum of the moment. Suddenly, the attention in the room shifts away from you. So when they say,
Bro, you smell awful.
just look at them calmly and say,
Damn. Must have been standing next to you too long. Shut up, it's not funny!
now the entire dynamic changes. Your response is so unexpected that everyone's attention shifts to the person who insulted you. And instead of laughing at you, the whole group starts laughing at them.